Good morning. Happy, healthy, fabulous. And I'm Ro, your happy mindset coach. And yesterday we talked about getting what you want. Think about what you want and put that out there, and that's what you'll get, right? So what blocks us from getting what we want? Now, we've talked about this before, right? The thing that blocks us from getting what we want is our thoughts. And the thoughts that we have, it's our way of communicating with ourselves. So our thoughts are those little voices in our head, that little voice that tells you, oh, you're fabulous, or oh, you're so stupid, okay? That voice. Now, if we want to get what we want and not what we don't want, we have to train that little voice. We have to train our thoughts in order to have them positive and empowering. And so how do we do that? Well, one of the tricks I've learned, I used to teach a course in communications for many years at San Francisco State, and it was an introductory course to communication, and we talked about communication with public speaking, group communication, individual communication, interpersonal communication. But the most important communication that I taught was our communication with ourselves. So I taught that first before anything else, because if we don't have good communication with ourselves, it's going to impact our communication with others, okay? So in order to have good communication with yourself, you have to be aware of your thoughts, your little voice, the way you talk to yourself. So one of the tricks that you can do that I've learned is really efficient is when you start saying these negative things to yourself. Oh, you're never going to be able to do that. Oh, what's wrong with you? Oh, that was so stupid. Oh, you're not going to find a parking space. Why are you going at this time? It's going to be so crowded. You're going to be so miserable in traffic. Okay? When that little voice comes up and starts giving you all this crap, right? Think about how that would sound if you said that to somebody you really loved. If you were critical, if you were negative, if you were not supportive to somebody you really loved. So start saying the things out loud that you're saying to yourself. Stupid idiot. Who would you say that to? I mean, hopefully no one. And if you wouldn't say it to anyone because it's so cruel, why would you say it to yourself? Right? Think about that, right? So when you start talking to yourself, and we talk to ourselves all the time, when we start talking to ourselves, notice what we're saying and say it out loud. Say the things out loud and listen to yourself. How are you going to get what you want and have a happy life if you're talking to your trash to yourself? You're talking this trash. Self-critical, mean, abusive. It's horrible. So, and we don't even think about it because we're so used to that little voice going off, right? So we have to become aware and start training it. So say the things out loud and think about them. So then start saying them differently. So if your little voice says, oh, why are you doing that? That's so stupid. Answer. Say, maybe you think it's stupid, but you know what? I did it because I think it's a good idea. And maybe it'll turn out and maybe it won't, but I'm hoping and I'm thinking it's gonna work, okay? Talk to that little voice. Train that little voice. We're gonna talk more about this because this is super important. Okay, so I want you to practice. So when you start talking to yourself, start saying it out loud and not in front of people, when you're by yourself. And visualize you saying these things to somebody you really love. Okay? All right, see you tomorrow in Sister I'm Fabulous.